So I think, right, I think it was when I saw Thor, right? Thor Love and Thunder, the trailers before the film. I believe there was a trailer for Thor, right? That's where I think I saw it. But I completely misconstrued this film, right? I do not know how I did it, but yeah, in my head, it was something completely different, right? But before we get into that, okay, so it is directed by Scott Mann, who co-wrote the film with Jonathan Frank. Um, Mann produces the film along with David Haring, James Harris, Mark Lane, Christian Mercury. It's executive produced by Roman Vieires de Lesnigo. It is line produced by Brianna Lee Johnson and associate produced by Ashley Waldron. Music is from Tim Despic. Cinematography is from Mac Gregor. Mac Gregor. I do not know this person. I do not believe I've come across this name before. Interesting. It is edited by Robert Hall. Colin Jones handles the casting. Scott Daniel did the production design. Art direction is Pete Hickhook. Lisa Catalina does costume design. Brittany White handles makeup. Our cast, it is pretty minimal, right? Pretty minimal. So we have got Becky Connor, who's played by Grace Caroline Currey. Her dad, James Connor, is played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. This is interesting, right? Because then you've got her husband, Dan, who's listed as Dan Connor, right? Interesting. Right, just because, you know what I mean? So he took the name, which, none of that is really sold, but kind of the feeling that you get of Dan, I don't feel Dan is the type to take her name. You know what I mean? That's the how we get Dan represented throughout this film. He ain't that dude, you know what I mean? But Dan is played by Mason Gooding. Did I say the dad? James Connor is played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And her best friend Shiloh Hunter is played by Virginia Gardner. Right now, the interesting thing is Shiloh also goes by Danger D. I have no clue where the D where does that? I don't even know what the fuck that means. Because her name's Shiloh Hunter. And she's Becky calls her Hunter a lot. So where's the D? So confused. That makes no sense. It's kind of random. You know what I mean? Hey. Anyway, right? Now, the gist of the film is this. For best friends, Becky and Hunter, see, right? Life is all about conquering fears and pushing limits. But after they climb 2,000 feet to the top of a remote abandoned radio tower, they find themselves stranded with no way down. Now, Becky and Hunter's expert climbing skills will be put to the ultimate test as they desperately fight to survive the elements, a lack of supplies, and vertigo inducing heights in this adrenaline fueled thriller. Bam, bam, bam. So, right, when I saw the trailer for this, because you just saw this tall fucking towery thing, right? Just looked like this weird thing in the clouds. And then we just saw like just quick flashes of people falling and hanging and right. I thought it was this fantasy sci-fi thing. You know what I mean? Like something like The Cube or what is them films? Maze Runner, something like that, right? And there was this weird test thing, you know, like a Hunger Games type of thing, you know, in this weird test thing, and they have to hang off this thing or something. You know, it's apocalyptic world. That's what I thought this was. It is not. It is nothing like that. Set in, you know, current times. There's no apocalypse. There is no sci-fi. Now, there is some fantasy, right? There is definitely some fantasy in this because you have to, I feel there is a lot of separating your mind from reality to kind of go with this film. You know what I mean? Because there is a lot of shit that goes down that you're just like, nah, that ain't happening, right? Especially if you have climbed before, right? If you climb, you're gonna look at this and be like, what the fuck are they talking? This is ludicrous. That ain't happening. You know what I mean? But there is I mean, listen, if heights and all of that jazz get you, people, there are definitely moments in this film where you're just like, yo, what the fuck? You know, especially it's that fucking standing on edge looking down and it's just like, oof, you know what I mean? That just makes you feel like, I think I'm gonna fall. Ah, fuck. And it's just like, no, I'm on solid ground, right? I'm not even on a fucking edge. So it does that. It definitely puts that fear of motherfucking God in you, right? So, boom, that's a solid, right? If you like that, if you like feeling uncomfortable, then I think, you know, this could be a fun little flick for you, right? You know what I mean? Now we start off with the three of them rock climbing. See, the weird thing is, at first, it looks like they are free climbing, right? Which is just like, oof, you know, looks like they're free climbing. I say, because it's just like they clearly do not climb. They clearly don't climb. That's the crazy thing. Um, but then you realize, no. They're all hooked in. They've got ropes, all of that jazz. But there's you know, obviously, right? They're on the side of a wall, so you know there's gonna be these moments of something might happen, right? So we get a couple of those, which then you understand, right? The big thing with the opening, you understand, oh, something's gonna happen, right? Something is definitely gonna go down. And the thing that does go down, right? You wonder why someone would try and put a hook where the hook was getting put. Right? It makes no sense because you assume there is a possibility of something being there. You know what I mean? That's the crazy thing. It was just like, hold up, right? Like putting on the, because there was places on the mountain face itself. So there was no need to go into a hole, right? Because firstly, there could be a snake, there could be a spider, you know what I mean? A lizard. There's like poisonous shit that could be up in there. So you're not just randomly sticking your fucking hand into a hole, right? So just that whole bit was a bit like, as soon as you see that, you're just like, okay, I know what's gonna happen now, and what happens does happen, right? And then we go through this whole thing with Becky and her dad, and you do scratch your head a little bit with that whole kind of bit, just because there's definitely better ways to go about what was going down. You know what I mean? There's just so many, like, just when you think of the conversations and the things, you just be like, what? What? I mean, surely you would approach it differently. You know, even if you didn't like certain peoples and all of that, you'd approach it differently, right? There's no mention of therapy. You know what I mean? And we do get that thing where, you know, someone is meant to be like letting themselves go and just all of that. But makeup, like it's obvious they're still wearing makeup, even though they're meant to be not, right? Still wearing makeup. Hair's no issue with hair, right? You'd think hair would all be growing out, a mess. Like, you know, like it's just because you have the girls in like with like halter tops, you know, no sleeves and things like that, right? If they've just been letting themselves, there'd be hairy armpits, hairy leg, just you know what I mean? There'd be like sweat stains, nothing. Which is always just like, yo, if you're trying to sell someone who is letting themselves go, who has decided to quit on life, you gotta make me believe it, people. You've got to make me believe it. And I did not believe it. Didn't believe it. But you then get her best friend, you know what I mean? Her best friend, Hunter, call her up. And it's like so quick, so quick on the reverse. You're just like, wait, what? This is kind of weird, but hey, let's go with it. And it's the thing that is kind of crazy, and where the film gets just like stupid, because I kind of feel you could have still done the film, but put certain things in play, right? Because so Becky ain't climbed for a long ass time. She ain't done shit. She's been letting herself go. So, are we meant to believe that she's climbing up that tower? Right now, granted, for the first, 100 meters, I think they said there's an inside ladder, then there's an outside ladder, right? So those two, so you're climbing up a ladder, but you want to know how much that's going to take out your legs and your arms, right? Your legs and your arms are going to be fucked. Your hands are going to be fucked, right? That's going to be thing, especially when you haven't climbed for ages. We know you can go to the gym regularly, get in great shape. You miss going to the gym, you miss doing your regular routine for a week. And the next time you go, you're going to be feeling it, right? Shit goes super quick. So we can guarantee that Becky ain't been doing shit for longer than a week, right? So, because you get calluses from climbing, right? Your hands get accustomed to it, your arms, the muscles all get accustomed to it. The first time you try climbing, boy, even when like you've been going to the gym, I was going to the gym, I was doing jujitsu, yoga, all them things. First time I climbed, it was just like, yo, what's going on? You know what I mean? But your body gets used to it because you're using different muscles, right? You're using different muscles. So it was just the idea of her going up that ladder, right? You're gonna be fucked. Gonna be fucked. Now she does go, oh, can we rest a minute? But literally rested probably for a few minutes. When in reality, they'd be resting for a few hours before she'd be able to like properly go up that ladder and then do the next bit, right? And then do the next bit. Then we had them on top of the tower doing some just ridiculous shit, right? Hanging off one arm. Hanging off one arm. Climbing itself, as I said, look, that takes it out of you. Bouldering is a son of a bitch, right? Now, always feel bouldering is easier for girls, right? Less body weight, all of that jazz. They're lighter, less dense bones, all of that shit, right? But I mean, it's strenuous. Hanging by one arm, you got to be a straight G to be able to do that shit. So after climbing 200 meters, I think it's 200 meters. It was a long way, right? After climbing all that way, you're just not going to have the strength to be able to hang by one arm and then pull yourself back up, right? Look, there are videos of crazy motherfucking Russians hoverboarding on sides of buildings and then falling, right? Trying to hold on, but then just not having the strength and falling. Oh man, there was one video of a guy on the edge of a building, and then he's just like, look, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do some pull ups. So after climbing up this building, he then does pull ups, right? And I think he does like 10 or something. And that's it. His arms are now fucked. Can't pull himself up. Oh, it's brutal. It was brutal. I think I saw the film on Your Mum's House Live. Your Mum's House Live. I think it was something like that. Because homie just drops. Just drops. You know what I mean? So, and these are these fucking parkour free climbing motherfuckers, right? So, and they're doing it on the reg. So there's no way these girls, after climbing 200, they're not doing it. It's ridiculous. And then also, it's just like, you look at them. Now, this is the thing, right? Technically, both look like they're in good shape. Technically, they both look like they're in good shape. They're not in climbing shape, though, right? They're not in climbing shape. If you've seen a motherfucking climber, you will know they ain't climbers, right? So it's just that craziness that you're just like, what's going on here, Like, this is ludicrous. The other thing is, you'd take one look at that tower and you'd be like, nah, nah, straight. There's that. But yeah, so they do the tower. They run the tower. Everything goes crazy, and then we're just seeing all the things that their attempts for survival. All their attempts for survival. There was one thing with the drone, which I'm just like, you are looking, right? You're looking in the direction. You're flying this thing. You're looking. So how is it you don't see truck, right? That was baffling to me. Because it's not like they were on a bend or anything like that. It was a straight fucking road. So it's just like, there's no way you're not seeing the truck. That was so weird. That was so weird. You know what I mean? Ah, it was so weird. Oh, at the beginning of the film, well, not at the beginning, it's like when they get to the desert to do the thing, the whole vulture thing, right? Firstly, you understand we're seeing the vultures again. But the big thing is, right? That deer, dog, whatever the fuck that thing, it was still alive, but it wasn't ever going to survive, right? So the thing is, you have to kill it, right? If you're doing what they're doing, you have to kill it because you then just leave it. That's not humane. So it's just like, yeah, that was just a weird sequence. That was a weird sequence because they definitely didn't kill it. They definitely did not kill it. You know what I mean? But yeah, full. It's it's an odd film. I find it to be an odd film. As look, if you like that adrenaline rush, if you like all of that, I mean, it's a bit similar to Beast, right? Because Beast, there was some, I definitely jumped watching Beast, but then you just have these implausible things like, no, like a dude ain't outrunning a lion. Dude ain't outrunning a lion. You know what I mean? And the way the lion would just destroy some people and then other people he's like, no. That lion's fucking you up. There's no way you're winning a fight. You ain't winning. So if you watch Beast and you were like, yes, I believe all of that, I'm down, then I think you would, you know what I mean? You would be happy to go with everything that we see go down in full. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think, people. So, yes, if you're a big fan of that, if you're a fan of, oh shit. There was a film just the other month on Netflix about shit. They were climbing a a mountain, right? Escaping people that killed their friends. I can't remember what that fucking film was called, but yes, if you enjoyed that film, you'll enjoy Full for sure. For sure, people. I do not remember what that film was called though. I looked at it a few weeks back. Right? It was a few weeks ago, people. God damn. Yeah, oh man, my mind is just blanks. Mine is just blanks. What the frack was that film called? Oh man, I do not think I'm gonna get it. Don't think I'm gonna get it, which is a pain. Um, hmm. Yeah, no, I don't. Ooh. Yeah, it was basically they were climbing up a friggin' mountain to try and survive. But yes, if that was your bag, right? If you were like, yes, this film is legit, then you will definitely trust me. You will definitely be down with what we see in yeah this craziness. Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure. Oh, it's really gonna bug the fuck out. Just yeah, for the life of me, I cannot remember what this goddamn film was called. Hmm. Oh man. What was this film called? It was like a few weeks back. So a few weeks back, people. Ugh, my memory stinks. I just can't believe how bad it is. I just cannot believe how bad my goddamn memory is. But yeah, it's essentially, people, what I'm trying to tell you. This film, it's goofy as fuck, right? It's goofy as fuck. But if you like goofy films, you know, like they play around with the plot, right? They throw these things in there, these situations where now the friends are questioning each other, and it's just, you know. Oh, The Ledge. The film was called The Ledge. That's it. Whew. Okay. Okay, yes, we looked at it in episode 202. So, boy, a while back. You know what I mean? I thought it was more recent than that. But yeah, they try and add these conflicts to make it even more gripping, but it's goofy, right? If you like a goofy film, if you enjoyed The Ledge, if you enjoyed Beast, then I think Fool will be for you. But it is not an apocalyptic sci-fi fantasy film. It's not.